Disclaimer, for those new to the channel, you might not know this, but I have Tourette's, which basically means I make a bunch of uncontrollable noises. So if you hear any weird sounds in this video, those are me. I apologize, I tried cutting them out the best I could. Okay, onto the video. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to another collab hour. I am back again with Eli. We're doing this in the same day.
Woohoo! 2 for 1.
I don't know if these are gonna come out like at the same time or what. One thing for sure, this one is a little raunchier.
If you know anything about Huniepop, you know we all play it.
I know there's like a bunch of kids in my audience, so if you're like a minor, there's probably like a warning screen. I would not advise watching this. This is big pee-pee hour. This is two boys sitting in a hot tub hour.
5 feet apart because of social distancing.
Gonna be ranking Huniepop's 1 and 2. I haven't played Huniepop. I almost did back in high school until I realized it was a booby game.
I have 80 hours in the first one. I have about 20 in the second one.
I watched Markiplier play the first one, and then I watched a 3-hour Let's Play of just the story of Huniepop. They didn't even show the match 3s. I play Huniepop for the lore and the gameplay. Probably the gameplay. I'm still debating on getting it.
There are 3 women in here from Huniecam Studio. I didn't play that one much. The other 2 are match 3s, and Huniecam Studio is like a time management thing where you have to manage a cam studio, and I didn't enjoy it.
Our first one is, I blank on her name. The teacher.
I love her. Like an A tier, S tier. I love her. Her design is a little skanky, but she's great. I adore her, and I really like some of her photos. I like that she's got like some nice lacy undergarments with some garters. That's the word I was picking on. She's an A tier, dare I say S tier.
I'm comfortable with an S tier. I definitely vibe with her. She's relatable. I feel like I should have a lot more to say about her, but unfortunately I don't. I initially hated her, but I've kind of started to warm up to her.
Because I had the exact opposite. First I was like super into her. I was like, ooh, she does drugs, she's mean, I love her. But then you meet some girls like that in real life and you're like...
One thing I could easily say, she is absolutely not my favorite Huniepop character. I would not date someone like her. She's a bitch. An utter bitch. Absolutely not my type.
I really like her design, I just don't like her as a person. She's really annoying, but she was my favorite for a while. I'd rank her like B.
I'm kind of leaning more on D. If you're leaning more on B?
I think C tier would be nice.
That's a healthy balance.
I'd put her at an F tier if she wasn't so goddamn cute.
I barely remember anything about her.
Well, her whole thing is that she's Middle Eastern. I want to say Indian, but I'd have to double check that. I used to know all of these facts about these girls off the top of my head. Belly's whole thing is that she was really nice, and she taught yoga, and she really sure things.
Oh yeah, she's the yoga one. Okay, I remember her now.
How do you feel about her?
She's fine. She's pleasant. I wouldn't say she's like my absolute favorite, but I say she's friend material at least. B, close to being C.
I'd put her in B tier. She's an inoffensive character. That's not true. Huniepop is pretty racist sometimes, but she as a person, she doesn't bother me. Did you see Celeste in your Let's Plays?
Oh yeah.
I can't watch YouTubers play that game because they're all really bad at it.
I definitely think she's interesting. I'm kind of a sucker for fish out of water characters. I love her design. She's really cute.
I don't have strong feelings about Celeste. She is definitely not the worst, and some of her photos are real good.
I feel like the weakest aspect about her is that her Q&A sessions are just her asking you how much you know about the solar system.
Also,
like, it makes sense, but it felt kind of weak.
I wasn't impressed with her voice acting. I was actually trying to date her and woo her. I played this game originally back in high school, and at some point my mother came up behind me, and she's got this like really revealing little latex outfit, and my mother came up behind me and she's like, you need to play games where the girls don't look like that. A or B, I think. Your defense for actually didn't warm me up to her.
I'm comfortable with Sine.
Kiana.
Who was she again?
She's a single mom, and she works out a lot.
I think I might have gotten these two mixed up.
That would make sense, because they're both, like, really nice, but Belly's, like, really nice, where it's actually a personality trait. I didn't think she was that interesting, and her outfits weren't that good, so she's also, like, a C tier.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. F*** her.
She Don't like Momo?
I don't like Momo.
Why don't you like Momo? She's one of my favorites. I love her. She's a cat girl.
In terms of cat girls, I'm kind of neutral towards them. They could definitely be really cute. I just find her voice to be kind of annoying.
I think that there are some solid arguments against her. Like, she is also definitely preying off, like, I'm barely 18. I'm really young and little and petite.
That's probably one of the other reasons I don't like her. She kind of gives me the creeps.
And normally I wouldn't, but she's a cat. This game has something for everyone, and in the first game, for me, that's Momo.
Honestly, if this was just my list, I'd easily put her at F. Wanna just go to C tier for a middle ground?
Yeah, because if it were my list, I'd put her at S.
One thing for sure, she killed 1980s cat girls. You know the ones. You introduced me to them, Eli. Hardcore action cat girls. She killed them.
Nikki. God.
She used to be my favorite. Now not so much.
And I think it's because everyone's like, my god, she's a gamer girl, I have to f her. But I actually really hated her because of that. Like, great, we get it, you play video games. She's got this really intense, like, I'm not like other girls, I'm ugly, ooh woo, and I hate that about her.
I never really noticed her negative or when I first saw her. I can't really say I fully hate her.
If I could, I'd put her lower than F tier.
Personally, I'm kind of like a C tier with her. Slightly B. She's definitely not my favorite. I can say that much.
Could live with putting her in C or D.
Sure, let's give her C. I like Tiffany. She's interesting.
She's pretty good.
She's
Really
cute.
She's got some really cute hair.
She's definitely really likable. I'd vibe with someone like her.
She's a good, like, A tier, B tier character.
I'm comfortable giving her an A. I barely remember anything about her.
Well, that's because she's the last girl you meet. Her whole thing is that she's a love goddess. She's, like, Q's superior. She's really hard to woo, but she's really banging. I can't really tell you that much about her person. She's supposed to be, like, a mega elite love goddess. I think her original design is super duper. Like, I love her little bangs there. I think that's really nice to look at.
Since I don't remember anything about her, I'll leave the tier up to you.
She's also got a really nice voice. She's personally another S tier for me, but I could live with putting her in A.
Let's give some S space some love.
I have to Google who those are because I don't know much about the Honeycam girls.
I don't know any of them.
Well, a lot of the Huniepop 2 girls were originally in Honeycam Studio.
I know that was the case with Suki.
That was also the case with Zoe and Lillian and also Leilani and this. A lot of them, really.
I think so far we're doing a great job telling this in the most advertiser-friendly possible.
I think we're doing a great job of me not being very efficient at finding the names of these women. Nadia, in the middle there, her whole thing is that she's like Russian and she's pretty, and I think she's also rich and milfy, but she's 32 and she dresses like Jessica Rabbit.
I say that's like B tier. Doesn't sound awful.
Marlena is... Here's the game description. Marlena is a Brazilian bombshell who basically coasts through life on her banging good looks. She's very confident and extremely narcissistic.
Not that big into narcissists.
She also has sugar daddies. I'd put her at like a D tier.
She's their first D tier.
And that one is Renee. Renee is 25, escaped her hometown, and moved out west to fulfill her dream of becoming an actress. She's working her way up. You gotta start somewhere. I think that's a really cute little design there, myself. I'll give her a B for that.
Sure. Abia.
God, I hate Abia. Christ.
This is kind of weird coming from Huniepop. Like a weird critique. I kinda hate how obsessively horny she is.
Yeah, I do too. And it's really offensive how they handled her. She's very clearly Middle Eastern, right? She's a TSA agent and she's super sexual.
F
tier. Ashley. Another fan favorite because, oh, she's hot and she's a ginger and she's a little mean to us.
I definitely like her better than what's her name.
I get it. I like looking at her. She doesn't piss me off like a lot of other characters do, but I don't think she's really worthy of Best Girl title.
I agree. She isn't Best Girl.
I'd still give her like a solid B tier though. Maybe A because she's cute.
I definitely didn't hate her, that's for sure. Here's the second MILF character.
That is Brooke Belrose, Aubrey's aunt, and her whole thing is that she's really rich. She's okay, she's kind of unpleasant. In the second game, they introduce buffs so you can get to know the girls, but it's always like, terrible. I'm not really that fond of Brooke. That's, like, D tier.
I'm fine with that. I don't really have that much strong feelings towards her.
Candace. Ooh, I like Candace. But with the buffs, anyway, Candace is a good example of this. The buffs were basically, like, you could talk to the girls and learn personality traits that would then affect your gameplay. Her whole thing is that she's a stripper. She has a southern accent. I don't think they actually tell us whether or not she's southern, but
Yeah.
she's cute. I like her design. I think her bimbo-ness is kind of endearing.
I know she's like an airhead. She's not the brightest. When I first saw her, she kind of reminded me of my character Josephine. I know you definitely know about Josephine, Eli. I'm sure not a lot of people here know that much about Josephine. She's only been in one video in recent years. Until I realized, well, Josephine isn't as dumb. She'd know what 2 + 2 is. I'm okay with the B tier. Slightly above A. She's cute. Cute design, cute personality. I like Candace.
Jessie. Jessie is the best girl of Huniepop 1. She's a MILF, so cute. I just want to love her and treat her right.
You don't have to ask me twice.
The second game did Jessie really dirty because they were like, a few years have passed, she's getting washed up and nobody wants to f her anymore because she's old.
Can we all agree that Q is S tier?
Give you that. Yeah, Q is pretty S tier.
I don't really know if she's like best girl. I'm honestly having a hard time picking who best girl is. I just love Q as a character. I don't think they could have picked a better guide.
I'd pick Jessie a best girl of both games.
I just think Q's really funny. I think she's very interesting personality-wise. I believe she's an artist, according to Huniepop 1. I think her last name's pretty cute, though. I think it was like Sugar Dust.
I think Q also has some really solid outfits and hairstyles for you to dress up the girls in. Look at me being all fruity up in here.
Plus, she's the only character on 15.ai, which means I can make Q say whatever the f*** I want and nobody's gonna stop me.
Oopsie whoopsie. Oh woo, we made a f***y lucky. A little f***o boingo. The code monkeys at our headquarters are working very hard to fix this.
Huniepop might.
If that ever happened, I'll make a deal with them. I'll sign off Josephine to them or something.
Next one is Leilani. Her whole thing is that on the second one, when they go to like a distant island that's not in America, it's like a little resort. And Leilani's whole thing is that she's like native to the island and she works at the resort. I thought she was boring and uninteresting.
I think she's cute. Definitely not the most interesting. I like her design. I think her voice acting was pretty cute. C tier?
Yeah.
Okay, C tier. I'm gonna be honest, I hate her more than this one.
Lillian's F tier.
Couldn't agree with you more. Half of her lines is just her saying she wants to die, which sounds awful saying that out loud.
I'm 18, I'm really goth, I'm a mall goth. I hate her, she's the worst. Also, her voice acting is pretty irritating.
I think she's cute. Definitely one of my favorites.
She's pretty solid. I don't love her, I don't hate her, she's alright. I wasn't mad that she came back. I'm a little mad that they picked her over other Huniepop girls.
So like A tier?
She can have an A tier.
I think
feel
we can
weird.
both agree is S.
Laura is the best girl of Huniepop 2.
I don't know if she's my type, but she's entertaining.
Holly, I love her so much. I would also like to love her. As a person, she's not my favorite.
One thing I could say for certain, she easily has the best fashion sense of Huniepop.
Yeah, she does. I love that her outfits are all like decades.
Almost every place they go to, she's always in like a different outfit. I love it. I'm definitely like in between A and S. Maybe more towards A, but I absolutely love Polly.
I'd put her in an A tier. She's great. I love her.
Suki. Suki. I hate Suki. She's annoying. She's weeb trash to an annoying degree. I hate almost every interaction she has with anyone ever. The fact that she only showers once a week really isn't doing her any favors.
That's why one of her buffs is smelly.
That puts her at F here even more.
A specific smell that YouTube's gonna censor.
Oh god, they went into detail.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone out there is into that. Personally, I'm not though. So F.
Zoe, I really, really like her design. I don't know how I feel about how they wrote her as a character. She's got some really annoying buffs, but they really do improve the gameplay. She's a solid, like, B or C.
I kind of have, like, a similar issue to her that I do with the space chick. Half of the questions that she asks you is just, well, I'm feeling an aurora of somebody. Who is this person? I feel like it's kind of cheap.
It is a little cheap, and the introduction of buffs also kind of discourages you from talking to a lot of the girls. Nora, in specific, has the worst ones.
I love how most of them are just S, B, and C. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot more favorites in total than the total drama tier list. I'm probably gonna put that at the end card.
Link to the other one we did in this session, and then the total drama one, you could be like, the link to the Huniepop one if you're at least 8.
Links to both of them. We're collabs. Collab 2022. We're starting the new year fresh.
I think it would be really fun if Huniepop made a third Huniepop, but it's just like
Tetris?
a combination of the first 2 games where you have all the women. Maybe they could replace some of them, like Abia, with like, I don't know, I wouldn't mind seeing Nadia in there.
Get rid of Suki. Either get rid of Suki or make her better.
They could try to make new games, new characters, you know, but then you could also have the option to double date and single date, and the roster would be huge, and it would be pretty great.
One thing that would be really cool is either like a main game or a spin-off. Probably a spin-off. If they made like a Tetris-style game, I think that'd be cool.
Have a lot of fun with that. I'd love that. I don't think that they could legally do that, though.
What about Dr. Mario?
Ooh, that would be right up my goddamn alley.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I would absolutely give the Huniepop creators the rights to Josephine.
That would be so lovely.
I think she'd fit right in.
I'd love to see a lovingly drawn Josephine.
One thing for sure, I don't think my style could do it justice. I'm sure half of our demographic is not gonna understand anything we're saying, unless they've seen the TikTok.
Who's Josephine? It's my wife, that's all you need to know.
You got any final thoughts before we end the second collab we did?
I fully expect that some of your demographic is gonna come for me for hating Nikki so much. If you want to square up with me over how I rank these women, I will defend them with my life.
Final thoughts. Harass Eli. Don't harass me. They know a lot more about Huniepop than I do. Well, I guess with all that said, it's all set from here.
Goodbye. Be safe, y'all.
Yo, thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you liked it, check out Sab and Eli's total drama tier list. If you subscribe, you'll get laid in an instant. Intro over. Where's my money?